This is the most popular cake. It can be prepared for any birthday or any significant date, such as a wedding anniversary or acquaintance. The basis of this cake is honey cakes, but if you don't like honey cake, you can replace them with shortbread cakes, but honey cakes are more tender. Take honey, egg, sugar and a pinch of salt and add everything to the pan in a thick layer. Try to choose high-quality honey, then your cakes will turn out fragrant. Add the butter, place the pan over medium heat and, stirring constantly, bring the mixture to a boil, but do not boil. Remove the pan from the heat and add baking soda, stirring with a whisk. The mass will begin to increase in volume and a foam cap will appear. Then you need to add baking soda. Now we need to wait until the mass cools down to room temperature. Stir the flour in 2 stages. First add half the flour and mix with a whisk. Pour the rest of the flour onto the work surface and then knead the dough with your hands. I recommend not adding more flour than indicated in the recipe. Otherwise, the dough will turn out dry and the cakes will be tough. You may find the dough sticky, but that's okay. Wrap it in a bag and put it in the refrigerator for a couple of hours, or overnight. The mixture stood overnight in the refrigerator and the dough became denser and not sticky. I prepared cakes measuring 30 centimeters and I got 4 pieces. I roll out the dough to about 3 to 4 millimeters thick. It increases further during baking. I rolled out the dough directly on a Teflon mat. If you don't have one, you can use baking paper. The dough must be sprinkled with flour so that the numbers do not stick to the dough. I printed the numbers on regular office paper. You can draw them yourself. I made the letters 30 centimeters high, but you can make them 20 centimeters, or you can make 2 numbers or letters, or other images. And using a knife, I used a pizza roller, cut out the number. I bake one at a time. The dough bakes very quickly. We collect all the excess dough into a ball and then roll it out again. Prick the straw itself with a fork so that it does not bubble when baking.
This is a good a day as any to start the
I made small hearts from the leftover dough, then they can be used for decorations.
roads that
Bake at 170 degrees, top-bottom setting for 3 to 4 minutes until lightly browned. It is important not to overcook it in the oven, otherwise the cakes will be tough. I will use white chocolate ganache cream. It is better to make the ganache in advance. Take 200 grams of white chocolate and 200 heavy cream. Bring the cream to a boil, but do not boil and pour hot cream over the chocolate. Mix and beat with an immersion blender until emulsified. Over time, the ganache becomes thick, with the consistency of condensed milk. Within a couple of minutes, the cream thickens, becomes airy and dense. Transfer the cream into a pastry bag and use it when assembling the cake. Cover the ganache with cling film and refrigerate for 8 hours. I decided to add some sourness and prepared passion fruit confiture. Mix sugar with starch and add cold puree, stir until smooth and place a thick-bottomed pan on medium heat. Bring to a boil, stirring constantly and simmer for 2 minutes. You can use nut butter or fruit puree. Take 100 grams of passion fruit puree, 1 tablespoon of sugar and 1 teaspoon of starch. I took ready-made puree. It was already packaged in 100 grams and completely natural. This is how you get this passion fruit confiture. The confiture must be cooled. Now take 300 grams of cream cheese and lightly beat with a mixer until soft. Next you need to pour in the cold ganache and beat with a mixer at low speed. As you can see, it has increased in volume, has not lost its shape, and remains soft. Leave it on the mat until it cools completely. Let's start assembling the cake. Plant the cream over the entire surface. Leaving space for the confiture, you can add other fillings such as pieces of chocolate or nuts. Cover with the second number on top and also place cream on top. The cream was thick, but still soaked the cakes. The cakes turned out soft. I got 4 layers measuring 30 by 18 centimeters. Decorate the top to your liking. I decorated with marshmallows. Meringues and hearts from the remaining dough. In the description, I will leave a link to a video on making meringues. This is the cake I made. I wish you good luck in the kitchen. Don't be afraid to experiment.